So, we need to talk about Nerd and Proud of It. That's a YouTube channel. I'll try to remember to put a link to his YouTube channel in the comments below. I'm much smaller than him, and so I don't know how much help this video will be to him. I'm not even monetized. I haven't been monetized. I'm debating on whether once I get monetized, whether to accept that or not. Probably. But in any case, his channel got demonetized recently, and he didn't understand why. I guess he understands that it's not a copyright thing, because the email that was sent to him was mass produced and repetitive, and he did talk a little bit about the not violating copyrights by mentioning artist, and that it's not his card and that kind of stuff, and that's not really a way around copyright things. Like if people want to claim their copyright on you, then you, just by mentioning who made it and that it's not yours, that's not a way around it. Fair use is a way around it, but only as a legal defense. But at least YouTube seems to honor fair use these days, or at least help creators keep things up that are fair use. On my normal Kevin Newman channel, I did my top 365 videos, and every single video is my face in front of the camera, but the trailer playing on a green screen behind me, but no audio from that trailer. And the trailer is sometimes cut or whatever, but it doesn't matter because my face is plastered on the screen and I'm talking about the movie. And sometimes I get people that do copyright claims and on my videos, which I don't generally care, because also that channel is not monetized. And the only time I care is when they block it in certain places. And there was some place, one of them was blocked in Belarus and Russia. I'm like, I don't really care. Whatever, that could just be, I don't know, an international sanctions thing. I have no idea how this company thinks they have a copyright in Belarus and Russia for a movie. They clearly don't. And sometimes there's also other ones that are clearly companies in a completely different language, because they're using a completely different alphabet for the name of their I guess company on YouTube. So I don't know how they have the copyrights. Anyway, I normally fight those ones by pointing out fair use and how my stuff is transformative. And that's kind of the only defense you have on YouTube, is that if you are transformative in nature. And what that means is up to the subjective experience of the person that you're disputing against. You have your own idea what fair use and transformative means, but the copyright holder, they have their own idea, and YouTube has their own idea. So for the most case, a lot of these studios have released the claim after once or me disputing it, and a couple times it's required me to then, after they've decided to keep their claim, to then appeal it, and then they release the claim, so then YouTube never sees it. So I've never actually seen what happens when YouTube weighs in on a copyright claim. I've watched some other YouTube channels about other people disputing copyright claims, usually when people are basically griefing the copyright claims because they're drama channels, and the channel has dredged up some drama on some other channel, and they're using their video, and then that channel does a copyright claim, and that stuff also doesn't really hold up as long as you can express yourself properly, right? And if you can't, then I guess get a lawyer to draft up something for you. But that isn't what Nerd and Proud of It is dealing with. The mass produced, or appears mass produced or repetitive. I don't watch his shorts, and it seems to be that it's the shorts. I watch most of his other videos, and really only the sorcery content, because there's very few sorcery creators. So I like to get news from him, and there's a couple other creators as well about sorcery, and I really like his videos. I like the way he talks. I like it just he's very calming when you listen to him. So you should check out his channel, because I enjoy it. Now, it's not necessarily for everybody, just like I'm not necessarily for everybody, but I think he has a good channel, and I think he's being his authentic self. So I kind of want to help him remain monetized, because it's good to get paid by YouTube to do the thing that you like doing anyway. And I think that the mass produced thing, if I look at his shorts, they don't appear mass produced. They do appear repetitive. His earlier shorts, which they're all just him, holding a card. I don't even know if he's opening up a pack. I think he's just discussing one card. And I haven't watched any shorts because I don't generally watch shorts. The only person's shorts that I watched a lot of was Rudy's shorts, because they were hilarious. And I guess you could argue that those seem mass-produced because he's doing the same shtick over and over again. But that seems like a shorts thing. I think that maybe because he has said that he is using AI in these shorts to present a card, to generate a card on the video, and then he maybe puts in some text and maybe a little bit of narration, and he edits it. But there are channels who do that sort of thing for things other than collectible card games. They could do it for history, they could do it for Lord of the Rings, they could do it for whatever. And they're just little mills pumping out, several videos a day just to gum up the algorithm. And this is why YouTube has a problem with it, is because none of us like to come across a video that has been made by, someone who just plugged in an AI prompt to get text to speech, and then another AI prompt to get a series of images that cycle through and sometimes recycle through the video. And, it's boring to listen to and often incorrect. And, you watch for a few seconds and you start to think, is this an AI video, or is it Simon Whistler? And then you realize it's an AI video, and they gummed up the algorithm, and the more of them that you end up accidentally watching, the more that you're going to get. And YouTube doesn't want to ruin the viewer experience, right? Because many people, if that suddenly happens and that's their entire algorithm, they're probably just going to leave YouTube, right? And not come back. They'll probably use some other video service. Or maybe the addiction's strong enough that they're not going to leave YouTube. But at the very least, they're going to, reduce their presence on YouTube, and maybe they're going to go out, touch some grass, kick some rocks, that kind of stuff. So YouTube does kind of have to crack down on this stuff, but I don't imagine that even if I watched, Nerd and Proud of It's shorts, that I would think that they are that kind of thing. But it does appear like that, and I don't know how YouTube would have determined this. I would imagine they would have to be reported, right? And then it becomes an automated system, and they look at a bunch of thumbnails, and then the automated system thinks, well, I don't have any evidence contrary to that, so shut it down. Hopefully that's not the process, but that could very well be the process on YouTube. But I have watched other YouTubers deal with demonetization for various reasons that seem unfair, and I've noticed a trend, one, in that YouTube isn't really going to talk to you about it. You can go back and forth, I guess, with email on YouTube, if that's a possibility. And if you're not at a high enough level, you don't have an account manager, so you can't talk directly that way. I'm pretty sure they have no customer service phone number. They might have a chat bot at this point, and maybe you might get a live operator. But from what I understand, the only way for you to get YouTube to do anything is for that contact them on X and complain, and maybe they'll listen. And often they'll just ignore it unless a lot of people complain about it, and a lot of high-profile people complain about it. So I don't know why they want this to be the process, but you've got to get in contact or get your video out to enough, high-profile YouTubers who think that that's unfair, who want to help you, and they blast it out, and then YouTube finally takes a look at it. That seems to be the best process. I've watched a bunch of channels deal with this kind of stuff, and that's the only thing that ever seems to work for them. In fact, Rudy himself, in the very early days, had an issue that his channel grew too much, and that, I guess it was sort of like a fraud warning or maybe botting or something like that. But they used some sort of language that wasn't really clear about what it was, and he needed people's help and Tulare Community College helped him, as did Jeremy from the Quartering. Now, I guess Jeremy's back on his magic channel, so he may very well be the best person to reach out for that, because he loves going after YouTube for that kind of stuff. And maybe Rudy himself, who benefited from one of these campaigns to bring his the 2 times he got his account suspended, and then another time when his AdSense was hacked. So you kind of need to get out there, and that's one of the purposes of this video, even though I'm dinky and I have very low hits on the algorithm, but I think every little bit helps. That if Nerd and Proud of Its name gets out there to, the ethers of YouTube through, people see this Nerd and Proud of It, controversy in titles in a lot of videos, even if they're small videos, people might start watching those, wondering what's up with that. And then other bigger people will take notice and hopefully help Nerd and Proud of It, because I'd really like to see him be monetized again, because I like him making videos, and, people are incentivized to make videos by the money they make from those videos. So anyway, if you can help out Nerd and Proud of It, go to his channel, find a way to contact him. I don't know how. And maybe, blast YouTube on X to try and save his channel from demonetization. In the meantime, I guess he should reply to YouTube and figure out how to resolve the issue. He might have to just remove some of the mass-produced videos, because this is the thing, is like, YouTube has their opinion about what happened, and you can fight it, but you got to be right. You got to be definitively right, and otherwise, you've just got to say, okay, YouTube, you're right. How do I resolve the issue to your, I don't know, to the way that you want it resolved? And that's the best advice I can give, and that's, I guess, the best help I can give. Anyway, good luck, Nerd and Proud of It, and I want to see how this turns out. Let me know in the comments below, and have a good day.